Hey there, this is Ben Currier, self-proclaimed world's #1 failure. In this podcast, we'll learn about the hardest moments my guests faced and the failures they endured on their path towards making it. I hope you enjoy.
All good?
Yes, but when you move shit like that, it goes, you know, whatever when you're doing this kind of shit.
Like this? Can you hear me?
Oh, that's way better. Yeah. Get it closer.
Yeah, get it closer.
Meaning I don't usually use the video that much, but we're recording, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to cut all this out.
Oh, will you?
Or not. No, I mean, usually I leave my own failures in and try to make the guests look good. But with you, I don't know. I might make an exception.
Oh, sorry about that. Let's do this. Dude, I'm on a podcast. Call you later.
Can you mute the thing? Is it a...
Yes, I will.
Are you a Google Pixel guy?
Yeah, I'm a Pixel guy, dude. Like, yeah.
Nice. Pixel. Also,
Pixel.
I'm on, but the
Pixel.
camera you're talking to me on is an iPhone.
Oh, there you go.
So the iPhone is recording a pixel in its face right now.
Oh, interesting. Fair enough. Fair enough. Alrighty.
All right. So we're already doing it. So, okay, here we go. Hey there, friends of failure, and welcome to this week's episode of the Failure Guy podcast. I am here with a fantastic guest. His name is Vedran Rasic. Ved, how are you?
Perfection, man. This is like, there you go. We practiced a tiny little bit, but you got it the first.
I've messed up so many of my guest names. It's ridiculous. So I'm happy to get yours right, even if it's a little bit of a twister. But
Appreciate you, man.
say it the Americanized way, just to give everybody the easy spelling version. How do you typically tell people?
So usually in the States and Canada, I'm like Ved, which is a short of Vedran, and the last name Rasic. So I try to do the last ch so that, you know, people gets close to the real one.
Yeah. But it's Ved, Rasic, for anybody out there who's trying to find him. But we'll tell you how to find him at the end. So stick to the end for the big surprise on how to find him around the internet. So what I like to do, Ved, is to let people start out with a humble brag or a shameless self-promotion or whatever. Inflate the hell out of yourself. So when we deflate you with the failures, it's less fighting.
That is a good point. But for that, I usually send you a paragraph about me. So, you know, like I let other people introduce me because I hate to introduce myself. But anyways,
I'll do it. Ready? Okay, I got it. So we got Ved here, who has developed one of the most amazing tools for LinkedIn that I personally use all the time. And I bug the hell out of his staff with weird feature requests or weird ways of doing those feature requests. So
we love you, man.
Me and him have had a lot of discussion virtually, but I've not actually seen him live talking to me. So that's nice for the first time. And also they are doing fantastic. You guys are crushing it in the space in terms of doing non-sketchy stuff, which I've gotten banned just by doing normal stuff, like with no robots or anything, even not using your stuff. Like, I don't know how to get.
He's a power user.
Yeah, I think with the ADHD plus LinkedIn, they don't like that combo. They'd rather just lump me in with the bots or something like that. But thankfully, your product helped me like evade looking like a sketch ball in just terms of like the amount of times I look through certain things. Because it helps so much in terms of organizing something that you don't really think about organizing, which is all of your contacts and stuff. Because I've even got so many that are like the first half of my list that I've never gone back to try to figure out how to tag them and stuff like that, because you can barely keep up with, you know, the usual. But I'm sure there's plenty of, I think that's one of the things you mentioned in one of your posts, is that we a lot of times forget about all the old connections that we have that we don't leverage enough.
100%. Yeah, that's how we started Lead Delta. You know, we were previously, I was on the founding team of AutoClose, and, you know, we exited that business. And before that, you know, we used to do a lot of sale on LinkedIn, and that was
that planned, by the way, when you exited AutoClose, or did you auto-close it?
We auto-close it. Exactly. We auto-close it, man. Like that's slam dunk, you know?
Absolutely. It closed itself.
Yeah. Close itself. Exactly. Well, anyways, that's a fun story. But
this is all under VanillaSoft, is that right? Is that the name?
It's under VanillaSoft right now. Yeah, AutoClose by VanillaSoft, I guess that's how they call it now. But yeah, like we built a business on top of LinkedIn and email automation. At some point, that just stopped working. And you know, before it became Lead Delta, we bought a product like that had a whole bunch of automation and whatnot. And I figured that I just want to remove all that nonsense because the world is getting warmer. Well, in every respect, but especially in sales. And I was like, I want to be at the forefront of that trend. And we bootstrapped the business. So, we had to be very lean. Mm-hmm. So we have a big vision, big promise of the future, but we built something that people need instantaneously. And the test was to keep connecting with new connections. Amazing. So what do? You try and pitch them immediately. You get a no or no response, and you move on. You keep adding more and more people and more people. And what some folks probably don't know is that you have a cap, a limit, so to speak, on LinkedIn. So you can only have up to 30,000 right? connections. Yeah. Which is it's kind of enough, man. Like if you know what you're doing with your connections, and if you're building a network and a community, which is what Lead Delta is trying to do.
And people can still follow you beyond that, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And you don't need more than 30,000 connections. You can definitely trim some of that fat off. You need
100%
to get another 1,000 or whatever.
Exactly. And listen, I know people that have 2,000 connections, but they're like making 7 figures. And I know folks that have 100,000 followers and don't know what to do with it. And the way I like to think of it is as a social capital, right? Which is the term we're trying to kind of bring back to life. And as I posted, I think today, you should treat your connections as any form of capital, right? You can deposit, you can withdraw, you can let it sit and be idle about it. But the best effects that you can get is if you continuously produce value and capture some value back. For that, you need to have some assets. And for that, you need to network with people. And that's what Lead Delta kind of is trying to do. We're trying to give you tools to maintain your social capital and grow your businesses and assets from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because a lot of times, for example, when I was locked up for the one day, which was not fun, I couldn't contact any of my business connections. So if I had a big B2B client that was waiting to hear back from me about something important, I literally didn't know another way to connect with them at that moment. So I just had to wait for it to let me back in. And so to your point, your system lets me have a little bit more control over my connections and certainly export a bunch of things and do stuff where you own some of those relationships you're building, because you should.
100%, and you should 100%. Yeah. These are your connections. These are your business cards.
Especially if you're paying them for premium and stuff. What the hell,
Man, yeah. Let me not get into that because I think.
Of course, yeah. I'll get into it real quick. Just is if you're paying somebody a bunch of money and they are already able to give you the data, they should give you a little bit more easily.
Yeah, it's yours. I mean, in all honesty,
because you're doing everything you can to pay them.
Yeah. And that's why we don't pretend that we own your data, right? Inside Lead Delta, you can export whatever you want. If you want to take it out and leave, that's your decision. And we appreciate you for sticking around for however many months. So this is your data. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
I like that attitude. So so in terms of failure, has there been any failures throughout those earlier businesses that you've learned from and then brought into Lead Delta, the knowledge of?
Yeah, there's one. So I'm originally, currently I'm in Europe for the next 3 months. We're fundraising and doing a whole bunch of fun stuff here. But generally, I'm for the last 6 years, I've been in Canada. So first time, I decided I want to go to North America to try myself out in a bigger market. I went there with one startup where a partner of mine, he said, we want you to operate a startup. And it was a B2B SaaS kind of app / marketplace. We worked with vehicle repair shops and vehicle owners. And, we had a beautifully designed Android app, iOS app. It was an admin part, there's a web part. It's just, dude, it was gorgeous. Mm-hmm. When I used to show the app to the Uber drivers, they were like, oh my gosh, how do I buy this? Right. But in all honesty, we had a completely wrong business model. We were trying to sell into shops. And shops, man, these guys, if they have enough cash flow, they're like, I don't need you. I'm busy enough. Get the hell out of here. Mm-hmm. If they're doing poorly, and then well, I can't pay you.
Yeah, sorry, I got nothing. I can't help you.
So we literally had to switch the model, chicken or egg. Well, first we had to understand that we are indeed a marketplace and that we should first work on the demand side, which is generally what you do with a marketplace. We didn't do that. And the founders, I wasn't the principal founder. So the founders, already invested 150, 200K. And me, myself, I invested my whole freaking life. I came to Canada with nothing, no friends, nothing, just lived there on my own, tried to stimulate the business and grow the business.
Sweat equity, that kind of thing?
Sweat equity, basically 100%. And, and honestly, that was the toughest 9 months of my life. I battled hard, but no matter what I did, I came to the same conclusion. We need to change the business model. But the problem is, I own it, right? And I felt the full ownership of it. And I really blamed myself hard for not succeeding, right? Because I'm the principal operator and I should know better, right? But no matter how I spin it, years later, it's the same conclusion. The business model had to be changed. But guess what? When you spend $200,000 on building the product and you fly out a guy from Europe to Canada, there's no more cash.
I know that game.
So then, yeah. And so then I went down the Bay Street in Toronto, which is kind of your Wall Street in the States. And I was talking to different investors, trying to get some loans and whatnot. And guess what? When you're miserable and needy, no one's going to give you shit. So
yeah, very unloanable at that point.
Yeah.
They're you can't be your coolest loanable self in those moments.
100%. And so that was it, man. I had to pack up my stuff and leave. I got on a plane. I was completely broke, and that's it. And in the meantime, my future fiance, she was literally waiting for me to make it. Not make it, but to set up some base. Yeah,
I get it. Yeah, no, because we are always yep, this is the big thing. Entrepreneurs are okay,
this is a big thing.
It's finally happening.
Yeah,
this time it's real. Everybody,
the best part.
You ready?
Yeah, exactly. And the best part, man, is that she would follow my route, and she got a job in the UK and Canada. So she just got her promotion, and she moved. She was about to move from the UK to Canada.
She's going to be making more than you all of a sudden.
Well, for sure. But guess what? I'm coming home. So, well, and that's not it. Wait for it.
She still married you, it sounds like.
Yeah, that's true.
So what, that was your best sale of all time, or hardest sale?
That's the hardest one. I'm kidding. Listen. So but here comes the best part. So I come home, no shit. I feel like failure. And I'm miserable, but I have a huge back pain, man. And it's just I can't sleep. And I'm, in terms of the any type of pain, I'm a tough dude. I'm okay with that. But this time around, it hurts, right? And my friend is dude, just go do a check. And they put me to an MRI test, and I do all that, and they're like, oh, you have a tumor, and I'm like, okay, what?
Whoa.
And I'm like. It really pours when it rains, right?
Wait, why'd you get checked out though? It wasn't a tumor. What was it? What do you think it was?
So back then, I thought
it was just back pain.
Back pain, yeah. I'm sitting in front of my computer the whole day. It's back pain.
Yeah.
So a hernia or things like that. And a whole bunch of guys have it. So I thought that's it.
And back pain sucks.
I went there, one checkup, second checkup. Yeah, it is. And so, long story short. After 3-4 months, my back then girlfriend and I, we decided we're just going to sit on an airplane, go back to Canada, and just figure it out. And that's what we did. We went back. So I made sure that the thing is not expanding, which it didn't.
It's not a tumor, right?
It was, but it was a benign one. Yeah.
From, I think it's from Kindergarten Cop.
I don't know that one.
It's a classic Arnold Schwarzenegger quote, at least.
There you go. I don't know.
It's not the tumor.
Not the Toma, the German one.
I don't know what I don't remember what it's from, but either way, I just did the worst ever impersonation of him, but then you followed up with the worst one. So thank you. I appreciate it.
We just failed at this story, right?
Yeah, but no worries. I can cut any of that out, or I can emphasize it and play it back 3 times.
Who cares, man? Listen, the whole point is we're not going to do that.
It's not the tumor.
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 It's not the tumor. We sit on an airplane, we come back, and we figure it out. That's the end of the story. So
it's good though. So it's good to have someone like that in your life who will be like, all right, well, get him next time.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Rather than what the fuck, dude? We got to pay the bills, man.
100%. Well, listen, you're looking for a partner, right? That's, your first co-founder is your partner, your spouse, teammate, man. Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, that's good though. It's good because when they're on your side, when you've got nothing, that it's more meaningful when they are there later, you know?
That means something.
Because a lot of people will show up.
Wait, are we supposed to be serious here?
I don't know. Am I being serious? I don't even know how to do that. But that's a good. So what in that moment or in those moments, what did you do that let you not feel like a failure? Or how did you know that this wasn't terminal illness? No pun intended on the tumor thing, but more just like, how did you know that you weren't screwed business wise?
Well, look at you, like Elon Musk. Like, I mean, you know,
I was too serious. I gotta
decompress.
I did look like a little Elon Muskish. Yeah.
Yeah, Muskish. Next thing I know, you're next thing I know, you're buying Twitter. You're buying Facebook, Meta.
Yeah, dude. I'm just buying Twitter ads.
That's fine. Just go get a loan.
I can't, dude. I'm unloanable. I'm in your old state. I'm still in failure mode.
Okay, fair. Yeah. So listen, I mean, what was the question?
I don't even know if there was one. I wrote social in all caps because you're saying social capital. Capital as in all caps. So that's about all I got. Meaning I was saying you were talking about having a teammate and someone who you can lean on when you're in those shitty times and make you feel like you're not like totally crazy for your dreams.
Man, yeah. In all honesty, like that's really what's important. Like I personally don't believe in self-made people, right? Like I don't believe that exists, right?
That's a fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger thing too, man. You're tapping on all this Arnold stuff. Oh, he said it in a what do they call it? A commencement thing for graduation. And he was like saying how people like to he gets mad when people call him a self-made man because of all the people who helped him get to where he is and stuff like that. And there's no such thing as, I'll send you the link at some point.
Yeah, I think I know who your favorite actor is.
You're just jacking off that mic. What are you doing? What are you doing to the mic? Why are you doing that?
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear it's not a sex toy, dude. Just chill. Go ahead though. I edit this shit to hell and back, but meaning like I'll leave the funny stuff, but I'll just get rid of the weirdness. So
okay.
Arnold, I'm gonna write Arnold quote. I'll send it to you.
Yeah,
send it to you.
Perfect. Now listen, yeah, I completely agree. Like it's if you look at his career, like he reinvented himself a couple of times, right? I think that's amazing. Like you get really good at one thing. Like I don't know, he was doing bodybuilding, like Mr. Olympia a couple of times, and a lot of people don't know that he was actually reselling condos and like doing real estate a little bit.
I don't know if I knew that.
And there you go. Then he was really successful there. That's how he became a millionaire.
And he met his twin, right?
I don't know about that.
Danny DeVito. He met his twin, Danny DeVito. Have you seen the movie Twins?
Danny DeVito, yeah.
Or no?
Yeah, I've seen the movie Twins. Yeah, I did. Yeah, you're messing up with my thought process, man. With your favorite actor.
I didn't want to seriously talk about Arnold, but let's keep going. Keep going. Yes.
Yeah. So then
paint me a picture.
Then he became a movie star, right?
Jingle all the way.
Exactly. And the fourth thing, he became a politician, man. So,
oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah. California, right?
Forgot about that. The governor. Yeah,
exactly. So my whole point is like, there's no way one person can do that by him herself. And so same thing for me. Like, and I started with the basics, like from grabbing a food in a restaurant that someone else prepared for you, like to like, people giving you advice, to people actually helping connect you to some other folks, like speaking of social capital, all these things.
Well, so this is a common problem with entrepreneurs. I'm going to pretend like it's not something I'm struggling with. I'm going to talk through a general perspective, but you're going to get what I'm putting down. So what would you recommend to some people who are like having some trouble figure out who they can trust, how to trust other people when they bring them into the business? Because, a lot of us like to do it all ourselves. How do you trust those first people,
Well, you know what? I think you build up a social capital, right? Like you work with people long enough. And it's never like, I never had that experience in my life where I just met you and like, oh, let's do this. Like, and then we go big, right? Or go home. Like that's not how it works. Usually like there's a tiny project, there's tiny something. There's like, there's some joint experiences that you go through. There's some battles that you fight together. And, then eventually you figure out, oh, I can trust this person and we can work together. Right. And there are some experiences where you also need somebody and they need you. You might not see eye to eye, but you tolerate each other enough so that you move from point A to point B. This is not something that I would recommend, not something that I personally like. I like to be all in with a person I work with. whether that's in life, like business, you name it, right?
Yeah, you're saying if you have all the time to wait, you can really find the right person. But maybe you're in a situation sometimes where you don't have that luxury and you just have to find someone who will work in that moment.
Yeah.
That'd be more that second person you're talking about.
Well, in all honesty, like out of 10 people, 2 will fail you, 3 will fail you, but you don't want to spend your life focusing on those 2, 3. You want to focus on 7, 8 that are trustworthy and will be there for you. So,
well, what I imagine would be the most helpful way to do it is to figure out the things you're worst at and then find people who are good at those things.
100%. 100%. Start there. Yeah, like that's one of my first premises of entrepreneurship. First, you figure out who you are, like what you're good at. Then you go out and find somebody else. That's your B point, is to find a partner, because it's always easier in 2, man. Like it's just like I can't think of instances where it's easier to do it just by yourself.
A one-man show.
Yeah.
You can't do that with more than one person.
You can do
a one-man show.
A one-man show,
right?
You can do it like
if you're gonna do a one-man show,
or you can do half.
It hurts you to have 2 people. That's the one scenario I can think about where you wouldn't want more than one person.
For sure. But like you're talking more like lifestyle businesses, right?
This is a one-man show.
Oh, it's because it's called one-man show, huh?
Because it's not only called a one-man show, but if it is truly a one-man show.
But no, but tell me, what are the characteristics?
It's a one-man goddamn show. It's not a 2-man show.
Yeah. But tell me the characteristics. Like, what would be the business of a one-man show where a second person would?
He's got so many instruments; they're all connected to him. So he's like playing drums with his feet, and he's got cymbals on his feet, and he's got like a horn, and he honks with his arm, and playing some sort of. You look up one-man band on YouTube, you'll find a bunch of drum videos of iterations. I feel like Dick Van Dyke did one at some point in something.
Well, fair enough. Like there are people that are talented, dude. Like, and I'm being serious here. Like, there are people that are talented. Like,
I know, and I was kidding about even bringing this all up, but it is interesting how people try to do that thing. I mean, it's harder even in that scenario.
But that's a great point, man. But even those people are not the one-man show. Like, if you think about it, you have to have a manager. You have to have someone to get you to show. Like, you need to have the audience.
True.
How is it a one-man show when you need to have an audience? Like, you see what I'm coming from? It's philosophical, but it also kind of makes sense. You're building with people, right?
Yeah. If a man has a one-man show in the woods and no one's there to see it, did it even happen?
Well,
is it a show?
Do you take notes? Would they write like a?
He took notes.
Yeah,
he's a one-man show. He's taking his own notes.
Yeah,
he's doing his own performance.
Memoirs, man. Like, did you hear memoirs?
Yeah, Memoirs of a Geisha or something.
Maybe.
I feel like that was a movie,
but it's a movie, and it's not a one-man show.
Oh, was it good?
I don't know. You tell me.
Man. I don't remember. I remember it was. It was a thing.
I know that Arnold Schwarzenegger is not part of the movie, so
no,
probably didn't watch it.
He was famously pregnant as a man.
I remember that one.
He had a lot of really weird roles. Eraser was really good though for action roles. Remember that one?
No, but I remember the pregnant one.
Junior.
But I mean, that was that's what you remember, right? It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I want to rewatch it and see how bad it is, like how PC not friendly it is at this point.
I was a kid back then. I was like, what the hell? How does this work?
I was like, oh no, can we have kids? Fuck. Meaning I thought that was what they had to do. Do you have any kids, by the way?
No, I don't. That's
because you said earlier about something about the longest or hardest 9 months of your life. And I was like, oh, he must not have a kid or something. Or
yeah.
And then I was like, but that's really the wife who'd probably have the first 9 months. But who knows? Wow. So are you in the spot right now where you feel like everything is too good to be true kind of thing, or are you not even there yet?
What do you mean by that?
Well, you seem to be enjoying some sort of success. We'll say some modicum of success. Do you feel like that's happening, or do you feel like you don't acknowledge that, or like you're always looking to the next milestone?
Yeah, I'm kind of that type of guy. I always look what's next and what I need to do, and my to-do list, but I became quite aware of that. And so what I'm trying to do is really like when I'm, like I'm running from a meeting to a meeting and I'm like, oh, I need to do this and I have to do that, right? I keep telling myself, well, why don't you just quit it? Like, if you're not enjoying it, just quit it, right? Like, or stop stop freaking like, making a big mess out of these things, right? Like just like be like, I love these guys. I want to work with them. There's a problem to be solved. Let's go and solve it, right? On the bad days, right? And that's how I try and motivate myself, because I'm like, well, why don't you then quit? Like if you don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I really try to make myself enjoy all the experiences a bit more, which sometimes for personality such as I am, like sometimes it's hard, like because you keep looking at what's next and you keep stressing about so many different problems. You keep being paranoid, like in a way of what might happen. So yeah,
it's funny because I've since I've been fired from every job, I clearly don't ever quit. I don't ever think to quit. So it's funny to you having to pump yourself up by telling yourself you could quit. I never even thought about that. I was like, oh yeah, I could quit.
Yeah.
But then why not? I naively thought things would always work out and that there's something to be saved, or like whatever, I can figure it out.
So the I can quit thing is actually, I think, very interesting because I know a lot of people. So in Europe, I know that 80% of the startups are still alive, like 5-6 years down the road, because in my honest opinion, there's a ton of government money in the game. So you get from one fund to the other fund, to one accelerator to the other. Instead of growing the business, you grow the administration and you keep accumulating cash. You pay yourself the minimum and you kind of trick yourself into thinking that you're making progress. So I came up with a number of 80%. I know for a couple of startup scenes that where that's probably a good number. But let's say that it's even 50%, which you'll never get in the States, because failure is just normal. It's something that you need to have in your career, and it's kind of normal, and people don't even focus too much on it, right? Whilst in Europe,
they want to brush past it usually instead of like learn from it.
Yeah. And it's just it's a thing here. So I keep talking to different people. I keep doing a lot of different keynotes, like to just really understand why is it so damn hard to admit, like, hey, I just failed at this. Like I learned this and that, much like we did with the first business in Canada. I was like, I learned so much from it because you're skin in the game. But it's really important to have a deadline and be honest with yourself, right?
Yeah. And you can just see all the things you do wrong, and then in the next job,
hopefully fix it.
Yeah.
Well, for sure, fix it, man. Because when you read about this,
or set up ways to hack through your ways that other people fix it for you, or point it out to you, or whatever the thing is.
Yeah, that's why mentors. Like, I mean, I like a notion of a mentor. Like, I don't even know where I got this from, but like since I was 19, I had a mentor, like somebody who was like 5-10 steps in front of me, and I can learn from. And I'd usually give them some kind of a value of like I call it the field work, like things that they're passed through, but they still need some information, what's happening in the startup scene. Like
you had your finger on the pulse.
Yeah, basically, and they would help me get to the next stage. And that was always that trade-off, because you always need to be giving something in my mind, right?
Yeah, of course.
And then you try and pay it forward, obviously, yourself. So anyways, very, very interesting topic.
If you haven't read The Go-Giver, have you ever read that book?
No, never.
You should, instead of The Go-Getter, it's called The Go-Giver. It's fantastic. I'm writing a sequel, a non-authorized sequel to it, basically more like along the same lines, but it goes a bit further than that. So the Go-Giver is about just going and being giving, and how it'll come back to you and you don't have to expect it and stuff like that. But it's put out in a very awesome way. And then there's people like me, though, who go and give a bunch. I just keep giving. And some people take, some people give back. Some people just are like, what's wrong with you? Get away from me. So you get all sorts of different reactions. But then my book's called When Givers Meet, because when you find another giver and then you both get into like a giving war, you keep trying to outgive the other one. Then everybody wins because you're both helping each other out so much. I mean, because you both realize you're both that type of person.
Well, I know Stephen Covey,
but you sometimes get screwed over a lot, Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
So
Stephen Covey.
How do you get screwed? Like when?
Well, so you said earlier, like do a little all small things and stuff like that. Like don't go big and go home, or whatever that thing was. And you were saying, but I do it the opposite. I do trust falls from the mountaintops is what I call it, because I want to just trust somebody and figure out if they're trustworthy and then go from there. I don't want to have to worry and wonder for a long time.
And that's fair. And that's fair. Like, but that's not what I do. It's just like you plant a seed and you nurture it, and sometimes it succeeds, sometimes it doesn't. And that's it. You observe. Like, it's not that I'm a control freak. Oh, can I trust Ben or can I not trust Ben? Right.
Oh, I'm not saying that. I mean, more like I trust someone too
no.
much, and then I see if they abuse it. If they abuse it, then I go, okay, reel it back in. But I'd rather
put
myself out there a little bit too much and learn than not put it myself out enough.
I'll bring up another author. I'm not sure if you're a fan or your audiences are fans or not, but like Jordan Peterson is talking quite.
Okay, the 12 rules guy.
Yeah, the 12.
Right? Jordan B. Peterson.
Yeah, but he keeps talking about, also being strong in a way where you're not allowing anybody to abuse your trust or to use your trust, which is exactly what I think posted today about, you gotta be able to give and pay it forward and not expect anything in return.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like going to the casino. You pretend like you lost that money already.
I wouldn't use the casino. Exactly.
It's my mentality.
I would use
I'm like,
casino.
okay, I already gave this thing. I'm not expecting to get anything back. I already lost this money at the casino. I'm not expecting to even leave with the money I brought,
It's a paid forward mentality, man. Like, I think, like, if anybody haven't heard of a paid forward, like just read that, watch that video or whatever.
Oh no, it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And there's a movie, right, with Kevin Spacey or something.
That's true. Yeah, Kevin. Yeah. So listen. I mean, I think that's number one, rule number one. And as a matter of fact, I learned it in Stephen Covey's book, 7 Habits. Right. Like first give, then first aim to give, I think, is one of the rules. And I agree with it 100% wholeheartedly. Another thing is, well, you got to protect yourself because nobody else will. And then if you don't, there is a chance, a likelihood, and I've seen that in my life and in my surrounding, to grow bitter and to go into a state of, just bitching about life and people and how things are not fair. And that's not the way to do it. Like, you need to balance it. That's why I keep writing about it. It's social capital.
Yeah.
You need to be depositing and you need to be withdrawing, because you also got to live and you also got to create and you also want to be a successful individual. Right?
One of the cool things about the go-giver and the giving thing is that the final law of giving or whatever is receiving as well. Because in order for you to give, you have to also receive other people's gifts and not reject them.
You need to know how to receive.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I know a lot of people who don't know how to ask for help. They will always be there to help, but they don't know how to ask for help, which is strange, right? Like, but I've seen it, and I'd love to help these people help themselves. And it's kind of, it's just, it sucks. Like,
some people, their own worst enemies,
yes,
getting their own way,
sure.
Myself included.
Dude, like, are we like, is this like Tony Robbins? Like, are we, is that what we're turning
this is Tony Robbins. Yes. Everyone, welcome to Tony. This is Tony Robbins without Tony Robbins. Like, the show's just called This is Tony Robbins. Okay. So do you have any last thoughts on failure or just the importance of failure before I get into the more forward-looking questions? There's a couple last ones that are more forward-looking or present-based. And so if there's anything on like your historical past or just the concept of failure itself that you want to touch on before we get into those more forward-looking things.
Yeah. So for example, for people who are building software, I think it's very important to really understand, well, for anybody, like building any business, like if you can't do it yourself, it's really helpful to look for partners. And for example, I was purchasing some software that was already developed, and I was able to add a lot more features to it and make it a really successful project. And I have a roadmap, I have everything, right? But the problem is that the guy that was supposed to come up with the software on board, like, he just left. He didn't want to do it. So that's it. Like, it's sitting on a shelf. I have an amazing way. I think I have a good vision for the project, and I've seen the success around in similar projects.
He was the only one, or what?
Well, he wasn't the only one, but I can't have like 10 focuses, right? Like, I can focus on only a few handful of things, which is for me, Elite Delta.
All right, just throw it my way. I'll figure it out.
There you go.
Right.
We can make a deal. 100K, 200K.
I'll play around with it. Yeah. Whatever 95/5 split.
Are you a developer?
Okay. Well, developer. In what way?
Python? Can you do Python?
No, but I know a guy. I got a PhD guy who does all my shit that I need to in terms of that stuff. And also we're going to start a bunch of SaaS things. So
there you go.
We're going to get sassy.
Get sassy, man. Hey, it's good.
Yeah.
It starts in a big minus, but then it goes up.
And I'm going to have to poke your brain because you're like product hunt friggin' guru and all that stuff.
Well, I'll give you my course for free.
Meaning, how'd you get so good at, how'd you get so good at it?
At what?
Product hunt.
Product hunt? Sassy? Being sassy?
Product hunt. Being sassy, yeah. That should be a podcast name. Being sassy. SAAS. Why?
Listen, I don't know. Like I like software. I think it's pretty cool kind of building it, and I have a really good team of people around me that I like working with. So I think I just knew I want to build software at some point in my life. I figured it out. Like, and I was like, okay, this is the future. This is what I want to do. Look at the power, the leverage you can have with the software, and how much impact you can create with the software with just like 10 people, like producing something for like millions to use. Like, it's pretty insane. It's a insane sort of a leverage.
It's nuts. I only realized it's basically I like spending money on software apparently, because I spent almost 12 grand on AppSumo, and yours is my favorite so far.
I appreciate you, bro.
Except for maybe my podcast one. That one has a lot of value for me too. But those your two are the one I use the most.
Appreciate that, man.
Because everything else, I could definitely probably, who knows what gems I've gotten
resell
in that stuff. Yeah. I don't even want to do that. I want to like figure out how to use it, or make a team together and say, here's a tool, go make magic happen. Who knows? Because I've got so many weird tools.
Go figure it out.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. So you kind of definitely like that. You've seen a lot of software work, so you should definitely build something yourself, and that's the best way to learn. I mean, you just get on the road and you start building.
But Python is what you say is the best.
Well, I'd say
that's what my guy won't shut up about, so that's fine. I'm down with that.
I mean, JavaScript is interesting as well. I'll send you a fun meme about PHP, JS, and
okay. I know how to write in Java a little bit. I know how to write in VBA because of Excel, so I know the macro stuff.
Okay.
So Visual Basic, Basic, I know
macros. Mm-hmm.
I know programming generally, and learned a little PHP, but then I forgot it immediately. I only got so much space up there.
There you go, Laravel. Which framework?
No idea. I don't know. I had to make a .bat file or something and have it do something, and I learned a bit of something.
Well, I see. You're not going to be a developer in that relationship.
What am I in VS Console? I don't even know what I was in. Who the fuck knows? I don't even know what terms to say to make sure you understand what I'm saying. I don't know if I need to say C# or something. It wasn't that, but
your audience will understand. That's fine. I'm sure you'll find someone.
Yeah, they're catching. They're picking up what I'm putting down for sure. Would you suggest people get into programming?
Absolutely, if they love it.
If they have an inclination at all to like computers, I guess, and stuff. If you don't, then you'd get frustrated.
100%, because I've seen. So in the 80s, I'd say 80s, 90s, like everybody wanted to be a banker, I guess, but a lot of people failed at it because they didn't like it. It's just where the money was at the time. Mm-hmm. But then nowadays, everybody wants to be a developer. Oh, I want to be an engineer or whatever, right? Like software engineer. But if you don't like it, man, like it repeats. Like different eras have their own different preferred, kind of preferred job descriptions. And some folks are like, oh, I want to be a doctor, right? Because my dad told me so. But then you don't like it, like, and that sucks. Like that intrinsically sucks.
Well, like there's a lot of dentists. I think something like 60% of dentists don't like being dentists.
Yeah,
but they could quit on any day. Just like you were saying earlier, I can quit, but they don't. Yeah. They just keep being dentists because they're like, well, I spend so much time not getting this degree. I got to be a dentist now, but they could just be more happy doing anything else probably.
Well, that's changing. I think like that's changing quite a bit because the world's changing and people keep seeing like other folks like just working out of their laptops and just different parts of the world. Like, and I think a lot of people are getting motivated by these stories and they keep reading about it. So I think in the next 10 years, that's going to change dramatically. And I think we're going to miss a lot of dentists. So, and a lot of doctors and man, like you'll see a lot of people.
I could never be a doctor. Yeah. I need those.
Yeah. A lot of people branch out. So there's, I'm telling you, like there's going to be a lot of tools and automations and robots and hardware that's going to replace people because we're not going to have enough people there. In those areas,
we're gonna need the Terminator.
We're gonna need a Terminator, exactly.
Yeah, we're gonna need Arnold,
the one that can fix your teeth.
He'll be back. So, being a guest on the podcast, you get a get out of fail free card. So I'm gonna hand you this. It's a funnel card awesome. From Russell Brunson or whatever. But here, take this get out of fail free card. You got to take it. Boop. All right, cool.
Appreciate you, man.
So get out of fail free card. It's like
there we go.
Monopoly card. Oh, thank you. Yep, you got it. And basically, if you could use a get out of fail free card and a go after any hobby or passion or something, maybe you want to be a Broadway singer, maybe you want to be a bodybuilder. I don't know what the thing is, a comedian, but you've avoided it because of the amount of failure that's involved. What would you use a get out of fail free card for to go ahead and pursue if you knew you couldn't fail at something? Is it the guitar that you're pointing at in the background?
Yes. So yeah, I definitely go, I pretend to be like 70s rock star. Like that's what I would do.
Oh yeah. I can teach you how to play. I got a guitar right over
Okay.
yonder.
Oh, that's what you.
Meaning I taught myself how to play so I could teach someone else how to play.
Same here. I have a Fender Strat in Canada, and I have this little Fender.
You mean you taught yourself, or how long have you been playing?
Yeah, I taught myself how to play. Yeah. I mean, I'm not the greatest, but like, you know, we can definitely jam together.
Oh, you're not the greatest?
Oh, we can jam together.
Of course. I only played with the greatest. The one person in the world is the greatest.
Claptons of the world, right?
Yeah, no, I can definitely play other people's songs. I just writing my own songs is the tougher part. I don't want to get into that.
Is that what you do?
So I've been in one band back in Boston, and we played one show.
Nice.
After writing for 8 months, we wrote original songs, and then the keyboardist moved to Canada like the next day after our show. So we did try to reform as a trio. It didn't work out, but I played bass because they needed a bassist. And but just writing music is tough.
Oh yeah, that's
learning how to play other people's music is easier.
Yeah. Like that's why we don't have that many great players nowadays, because like it's tough. Well, we do have,
but now I'm trying to learn how to do it. I mean, and Coachella, which I was just at, which was amazing, showed me that I could definitely do it. You know, there's some people who did not deserve to be there, but there's plenty of amazing people as well. But
artists, exactly.
There were some interesting 100%. Experiences, and I definitely I want to do some kind of electronic stuff.
Interesting. Okay. Like a one man show. Is that what you're aiming at?
It's going to be called Sweatpants Music. And I already got my DJ name, DJ Unqualified.
I thought you're going to be a DJ Failure.
And I own both those.com, sweatpantsmusic.com, DJUnqualified.com.
DJ Failure?
No, it's too on brand. I got to have something different. Everything, I get bored if everything's the same. So it's DJ Unqualified. My comedian name, do you know my comedy name is going to be?
Go.
So I'm Irish, but my last name doesn't sound very Irish. So it's going to be, my last name is going to be Fitzpatrick, Benny Fitzpatrick. And then the first comedy special is going to be Friends with Benny Fitz.
I like the Benny Fitz.
Because then everyone will remember who I am. Yeah. But Benny Fitzpatrick.
Exactly.
Is the full name. So anyways.
When's the first show? You got to put deadline to your dreams, man. When's the first show?
Okay. Well, when are you doing whatever the hell you said you were going to do?
Oh, I have a deadline.
Just now with the get out of fail free card. No,
I have a deadline, dude.
When you're getting on stage or with the guitar or whatever.
So I'm giving myself 8 more years.
Oh.
Yeah. Like I'm realistic. So I'm giving myself 8 more years.
Perfect. So, all right, 8 years I'll be doing comedy. I'll open up for your music show with a stand-up comedy routine.
Well, think about it. Sure. So are we doing like a handshake?
8 years.
Are we doing a handshake?
Let's do a handshake as legitimately as possible with. Why is yours so? You're like this.
Like yeah.
It felt very royal.
Don't cut this out, okay?
Yeah.
Let people see.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they want to see that powerful handshake we just had.
Like this one, like.
Yeah. This is
royal.
Okay, so.
Oh man, this is fun.
We now know what you do with the get out of fail free card. What is the next thing you're going to fail at? I say instead of fake it till you make it, I say fail it till you nail it. So what's the next thing you're going to fail at until you succeed at it? Like the thing that you're going to approach without knowing what you're doing. What's the next big hurdle?
Well, in all honesty, we want to, so Lead Delta currently is producing at a weekly pace. It's good. But we're not taking too big of a risk at the moment. So we want to make a bigger leap forward into what we think the vision of the future is, especially in B2B SaaS.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still pondering on a couple of things, but that's that. I mean, you'll see it as a customer. You're going to see it in the next 6 months. We're going to try something big.
Sweet.
And if we fail, we project to have one more shot. So yeah, that's
nice. It's not an all or nothing move.
Yeah, we'll have 2 of these. So
yeah, I've heard of like I don't know who said it. It could be a Bezos thing or something, but about open door decisions and closed door decisions and whether or not you can go back through the door.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Actually, I read that in one of the biographies. Yeah. That's true.
So 8 years from now, you're going to play what? A fully original set of music? And I'm going to do a tight 10 minutes of stand up.
Well, that's right. That's right. That's not what I said. So 8 years from now, I'll have a band and we're going to perform regularly. I'm like, dude, like a modest guy, like, you know, like
I'll be in the band.
There you go. Why not? I don't have a bassist.
I got 8 years to prove myself.
Yes.
I don't even play bass. I just played bass because I needed a bassist. I'll play drums or guitar or whatever. It doesn't matter.
I'll sing. I'll yell.
I will try. I want to get better at singing. One of my goals is to get like an old church lady to give me singing lessons.
Oh, that's good.
Because they don't hang out with enough people, you know. They got a lot of good charm.
So you're gonna get a lot of this.
Well, I just want to know how to sing, and I suck, and I feel like I won't be judged by an older lady. If we're being honest.
That's awesome. Failure guy speaking. Oh my gosh.
Did I even? Okay, so the next thing you're gonna fail out is what now? I didn't even hear it. Oh, it's like this secretive next move where you're gonna blow my brains out.
The Delta, exactly. You can't see it.
Is that a sticker? Yeah, it's really reflective.
It's a sticker. It's a reflective sticker. That work.
So how can people find you if they want to connect with you? If that is LinkedIn the best place to go?
Yeah. I'll let you promote me. Like LinkedIn is the best place, or you can just do ved@leaddelta.com or Ved Rasic or Rasic, anywhere around. I'm pretty sure you're gonna get me. There's a couple of twins, but you'll figure it out. I trust your audience.
Yep. Or check the show notes. Nobody ever checks the show notes, but this one you might have to, just because of what he just said made debatable amount of sense. Or I mean, like, I was surprised when I look at one of your employees. I thought there'd be one of them, and there's like 45 different people on LinkedIn with that name. So my point is, who knows how many Ved Rasics there are? But I know if they go to the show notes, they will find their way to you.
Oh, there's two or three, no more than that. Come on.
If you write Product Hunt with it, or AppSumo, or Lead Delta for sure.
Yeah, don't write AppSumo. Just write Product Hunt. That's better.
Okay, cool.
There's no more LTDs, folks.
Yeah, I know. I felt bad for everybody.
Let's cut this one out.
You cut off, all of you. Well, Ved, thank you so much for joining the show. I appreciate it. And I cannot wait to support you in other ways and see all these new features that are coming out. I don't know if dark mode has been officially greenlit yet.
Yes, it's approved.
But I do know followers thing is maybe there, or it's coming.
It's there.
Okay, I haven't even checked because I've been in Coachella. I was checked out, you know, so now I'm going to check back in.
Fair enough.
But
fair enough.
I can't wait for the viewers or listeners, whatever they are, with their earballs to hear everything you just said. And also, if anybody wants to reach out to me, I can try to sweet talk him into getting some kind of a deal, but probably won't happen. Honestly, he's getting he's like a polished stone now. He's able to just weather all of the complaints and all of the requests for coupons.
Got yourself out of that one quickly in a nice manner, man. Gents move. I appreciate you. Well, Ben, this was an awesome chat.
Yes. How many podcasts have you been on, by the way?
50, 60, 70, something like that.
Nice.
Less than 100, more than 50. Let's put it that way.
That's how many domains I own. Basically, I don't know how many, but somewhere in that range. 50, 60, 70.
You keep collecting things, man.
Somewhere between 50 and 100.
Look at that wine behind you, like software, domains.
Dude, I'm going to show you one of them. And it's going to be an amazing idea. You're going to be like, oh my God, I need to not have that right now. And I'll go, you have it for free, man. Just make something amazing. And then all of a sudden, whatever it was, fardymcpoop.com or whatever stupid thing I came up with. Meaning, I've got some dope shit and I'm happy to show you. Actually, I'm going to hit, oh, Jesus Christ. I'm going to hit end so we can still talk for a second. Oh, wait, I'm going to hit unrecord. Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining me on the Failure Guy podcast. If you enjoyed it, feel free to tell somebody. And don't forget, always try to fail it till you nail it. Till next time. Would you like to be more efficient, productive, and confident in your work at the office? Over 750 million people worldwide use Excel, yet it's still a misunderstood and frequently misused tool. That's why I created Excel Exposure, so you can work smarter and not harder. The Excel Essentials course gives you over 5 hours of in-depth video lessons,
Plus, it comes along with my master workbook, which has every function, shortcut, and all the examples to follow along. Investopedia actually included my course in their list of 6 best online Excel classes of 2021, saying it's best for visual learners. As someone who's an expert in failure, I can certainly teach you and your team how to avoid spreadsheet failures and create bulletproof Excel documents. Use the coupon code FAILURE for 20% off of the lifetime access price. Visit excelexposure.com for more information and also my existing award-winning free training.